4. I can't believe this is actually happening. Day 4, where I'm facing fears around the project that I'm in the middle of doing, while I work through my fear of doing videos. And I'm doing it from a very safe space if I don't have an audience yet, and so I know this is a super safe thing to do because no one's watching. I mean, yeah, it's a little meta because I did decide yesterday to make the videos public just to make it more real for me that I'm actually doing something that's working through this. Anywho, 5 minutes. And my fear that I worked through yesterday is actually probably one of those wonderful instances where my inner critic was actually sharing some important wisdom with me, which I go into in luring your inner critic out of the closet. But I have been obviously looking at lots of different instances of things that are similar to what I kind of want to do, just to kind of get a sense of what's out there. Obviously, competition research, I don't really like the word competition, but what's out there already, how can I add to it, and yeah, how can I add to what's out there rather than kind of trying to be like, me too, or whatever. So I've been looking very carefully at what's already out there, what resonates, and what I'm like, not quite that. Or I found, I mentioned it 2 days ago, a comedian named Kyle Cease, who I'm finding to be quite brilliant, and up until yesterday, all I had found was a couple of interviews on some sort of odd... I found an interview of him on a local Denver cable station or something, and I also learned about his 100 Days of Self-Discovery, which I thought was lovely, which resonated exactly with what I'm kind of trying to say, and it also gave me the impetus for doing a series of videos as practice. Now, here's the weird part that I kind of got, oh shit, what am I doing? I went back to his website. I was kind of thinking, now how does he, to be honest, I was looking kind of at the back end of how to organize videos, and that was a rabbit hole that I went down. But what I discovered was his wonderful video series called Deep Down, which I am this close to purchasing. But what made me nervous was, God, now, oh, hold on just a moment. Now I'm going to do a soft belly. Just a moment, please. Because this is a fear. And this, I'm not even going to look into like childhood fears, or I'm just going to name it today, this morning. I'm afraid of the fact that what I am trying to say, that my message is really, really similar to his message, and the words, almost the words that he used in his video are words that are very similar to words that I would use, and I want to just say that out loud because I want to be aware of it, so that I do offer something that's super complimentary and that's my own, obviously. And I just want to make that clear and something that I'm aware of, because I guess my fear is, what if it turns out that, oh, I know what it was that made me go, holy crap. His last night, I was meditating, and I came out of it with this really odd practical thing of, why don't I put on the homepage of my site live, the word live, and then in I'm guessing PHP, but it might be a JavaScript, but I'll look into that, where there's a randomizing word that comes up, either so live playfully, live empowered, live gracefully. I wrote down the other one that I really liked. Oh, and this is where it got scary. I immediately thought, oh, the first one, the best one would be to say live out loud. Okay, now obviously I had seen that on Kyle Cease's website because his whole thing is called Evolve Out Loud. So I decided I am afraid. Wow, hold on. Because this is not my intention. I'm going over 5 minutes. That's okay today. I want to make it clear to myself. I want the awareness that I am very careful not to simply have seen something on his project that he's doing and accidentally, unconsciously copy it. Like, exactly like that. No. So, we're not going to say live out loud, but anyway, I want that to be very, very, I want a lot of awareness around that. I think this is where my inner editor, my inner critic is being helpful. The fear that the inner critic is giving me is a little bit, and the anxiety that I'm getting, I'm definitely working through. I'm doing my soft belly meditation. I'm doing a lot of good, positive self-talk around reminding myself that, yes, this is helpful information, but let's just end it there, do the work, do the practical work I need to do to not make sure I don't do that, move on. I wanted to, darn it, I'm going to just go over, these are for me too. I wanted to mention one other thing, because then I decided to watch the welcome video for Deep Down. And I noticed, and this is an interesting, one more fear that we're going to process. I listened to him talk about being a people pleaser and how that would end up with you only ending up with a taker or another people pleaser. And I was really happy to have heard that this morning, because I know that, of course, I have that tendency. There's a little bit of a twist on it in my case, but definitely that's my go-to. I've been doing a lot of work for so many years that it's latent, I guess. But when it rears its ugly head, it's really obvious that that's what's going on. Just people pleasing, finding out what another person needs and then just giving it to them. Tick it off my list, I move on. It's that sort of. Because I've been working on it for so long, I do try to seek out people who are just full of love, like he mentions in I highly recommend it, his Deep Down video series. But that idea of seeking out people who are full of love and who want equality in the relationship and all of that, I know to look for that, but it's true that my fallback is the other. And just the other day I had a lot of grief over a friendship that I believe is two people who are trying to evolve but are both people pleasers, and whose tendency is to fall back to what our comfort zone is, which is to be aligned with takers. And I realized a couple days ago the sadness of what's comfortable about being with a taker is they don't ask. Interestingly, it's possible that they don't ask that much from you. I'm going to just riff a little. I haven't really thought this through, but I want to start thinking about it. They don't ask that much from you. They don't ask anything from your heart, right? You can keep your heart. This is fake. This isn't real, but the allure of it is that you stay intact in your own little play space over here, while the taker just takes what they need, and you're like, yeah, take that, and you have the